Hey everyone. My lighting is not the greatest. I wanted to come on and do the podcast live here on YouTube to kind of break my lack of coming on YouTube today to say that I'm going to start doing more live recorded podcasts like this, maybe more live streams, Q&As, to be more active within the community, but off of the mainstream of Facebook and Instagram. I'm trying something new. I find Instagram to be kind of overwhelming and redundant, and it's just a lot of noise. And I want to find my own corners where women can go a little bit deeper with me than just 5-second reels and little slides that, people can easily misconstrue and argue with and all of those things. Whereas here, I want to go a little bit deeper to explain more nuance than I could in a post. So for this episode, this will also be up on the podcast. I want to talk about something that I've been doing with women since I began my Awakening Women space 6 years ago. 6 years ago in September. And what I did was I gathered women around that were struggling in their relationships. They had tried everything that they could to fix the relationship, to make it better, to figure out what's going on, fix themselves, all the therapy, sometimes years and years of therapy on themselves as couples. And they were exhausted. They were just like, where do I go from here? And so what I found was that there wasn't a whole lot out there at that time to help women with this. And I started to share from some of my own experiences to see, were other women feeling like I was or experiencing things that I was. And wow, did it blow up. It blew up so quickly to where I'm at now. I have 74,000 women on that Instagram account. And I just basically built it from authenticity of like, hey, are you experiencing this? Do you want help with this? And so I took them through. At the time, it was a 30-day boot camp process that was to help them get clarity on what's actually going on, what's at the root of the cycles and the patterns, to do a 180 and focus in on themselves, and then to get clarification if this dynamic is even changeable, because there's a lot of information out there about all kinds of things. What is he? What is he? Yes, you need to understand if your partner that you're going in these loops with has any hope of improving. I want you to get clarity on that quickly, because women spin in this for sometimes decades, wanting to find out if their partner is going to change, and they get sick and they get burnt out and their business starts failing and they aren't able to show up fully at work, and in their mental clarity, their children start suffering because of the effects of being in this dynamic long term. And so I want you to get clarity quickly. Is this something that's changeable, or is this something that is not going to change? And so I put them through this 30-day process, and holy smokes, it was so powerful. And so ever since then, I have been just offering iterations of that in my one-on-one coaching. It's a little more in depth, obviously more personalized. But what I wanted to talk about here in this episode is the power of doing the 30-day reset and why I even developed this in the first place. And then I'm going to give you some information and some next steps. So the 30-day reset is a way so let me back up. What I noticed was that all there was online that I could find was for women in these situations to either, just go no contact and leave, right? Just leave. And what I found is there was so many women that were like, well, I'm not there yet. So what do I do in the meantime to get myself there, to get that clarity that I can feel at peace with walking away? Because I knew that I did everything I could to shift the dynamic or change myself or work on myself. And so this process helps women get that clarity, the process that I developed, and I've reiterated and refined and improved it. And it is part of the relationship clarity method that I have. That is part of my Self-Source Woman Inner Circle. And that's where you can go through the program and get Telegram access to me with the collective. And so the 30-day reset is very powerful when it's done correctly and it's done in unison, in succession, like in the process that I teach, because it's not actually about the relationship. So I bring women back home to themselves, back to their clarity, back to their values, back to what matters to them most, really looking at boundaries that they have said many times over, I didn't even know I could have boundaries in that area, or I didn't even know I had boundaries in that area. And so having that clarity of, okay, it's not me, I'm not crazy, this is a cycle, this is a pattern that is not working. What's my part in this? And how do I shift my part in it to get clarity? So that's really the key of what I've been doing with women. That's the cornerstone and the foundation. So what is a 30-day process? The 30-day process is getting clarity on the dynamic. Is this something that is just relationship conflict that you could potentially turn around with your own changes? Or is it something more going on that is part of a deeper root level issue in your partner that is not going to get better? And then from there, you are doing the reset, recalibrating your emotional, energetic energy back to self instead of draining it out into the relationship, trying to explain, trying to fix, trying to take on the responsibility, trying to make him see, over explaining everything, all the texting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for hours and hours a day. This doesn't mean you don't express yourself, but you stop doing it repeatedly. You get to a point where you're like, I've already set this boundary. I have already explained why I don't like this particular behavior or why something is hurtful. And we have to look at our own patterning, why we are willing to keep repeating and re-explaining our limits to someone that is not respecting them. And so this reset is about taking action. We're not doing the words anymore. We're doing something different, because this clarifies your emotional compass, your emotional set point, and it gives you space to feel without interference and entanglement from another person's energy. I've got notes here to stay on track. It helps you distinguish love from versus attachment and desire versus habit. And then it reveals whether missing him is about him or about your comfort, your emotional attachment patterns, or on a more extreme level, it can become an emotional addiction to the pattern and the person. This reset also strengthens boundaries and your ability to self-source your power, your validation, your clarity, your decision making, your vision, your truest heart's desires, your values, like understanding the importance of living in alignment with your values. It reinforces that your needs come first. It provides practice in saying no and then learning how to be comfortable with the discomfort of guilt or feeling bad, like many women do when they set boundaries. And then it shows you that you don't need constant approval, attention, and compromise to feel whole. You're creating that wholeness within yourself. When you're doing this 30-day process that I teach, you're observing actions and energy versus words. Words, anybody can say words now, right? Anybody can use words. And without communication, you can see if his actions consistently align with change. And this takes time. This doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be clear in 30 days, but you will feel clearer because you're learning how to source your own power from within, not bleeding it into the relationship dynamic. So the first 30 days is really like an energetic, emotional reset so that you can start to see things more clearly for what they actually are. It also helps you get clarity on whether he's truly capable of ownership and taking full accountability. And that there's a certain it's easy to fall into the trap of this fake remorse and fake apologies because they're just surface level. This is what keeps so many smart, successful, ambitious women in these cycles, because they're believing words that are not followed by meaningful action and accountability. Because real accountability is followed by action. It's followed by, here is what I can see where I went wrong, and here's what I'm doing to fix it. And it's backed by action. And then this also resets your nervous system. It helps you to give your body and mind time to settle and recalibrate. Because even if the relationship isn't emotionally volatile, like there's differing levels to relationships that aren't working, right? Because even if the relationship isn't about the highs and lows and the volatile, explosive dynamic, even calm relationships can create subtle tension when the patterns are misaligned or they're not working for you. So space reduces that mental emotional clutter, the energetic bleed into someone else where you can really start to feel what it's like to be in your own energy. And it can help you to sense the subtle stress and anxiety that is present because it's not coming from trying to control the relationship anymore. You're just noticing, oh, wow, like noticing what's coming up there. That fear thought's coming up there. Oh, there's that old pattern there. And things come forward when you draw away from that entanglement. Doing this 30-day reset also provides perspective. It creates emotional distance to see the relationship objectively, and it allows you to evaluate patterns, where things are misaligned, and to really get clear about long term compatibility. Are you really compatible with this person long term? That means vision, values, lifestyle, personality characteristics, the type of life you want to live versus what they want to live, um, their character. Is your character aligned? Like, are you someone that values certain things that they don't value and that really bumps up against? Because boundaries typically they are linked to our values. And I teach this inside of my relationship clarity method more in depth. So it frees up your mental energy so you can focus on your health, your career, your own money, your own success, your children, you're building yourself up. It helps you reclaim your personal power and your self-trust, and it encourages self-reflection, journaling, and growth-oriented projects that you have been putting off or things that you know you want to do. During this time, it also this is obviously what I walk you through how to do it, but I'm just giving you the framework is that when you follow the process that I teach around the vision, values, and boundaries, deal breakers, and non negotiables, it helps you to really clarify your standards because it reveals whether your non negotiables are being honored. But you have to know what those are first, right? You have to know where that line is. It shows whether you're willing to compromise or whether your needs are fundamental and there is something really not meeting your needs on a very deep level in this relationship so that you can know, is that not going to change? And if it's not going to change, if this is going to stay the same, will that work for me? Can I thrive within that if it does not ever change? It also helps you to separate potential that he could potentially fulfill versus what you actually need consistently. And then the last piece of this is it strengthens your emotional independence, building confidence in being happy, whole, and complete alone. That you are, whether I am with a man or I'm not with a man, I am whole. I'm solid. I'm good. Either way, I am detached. No longer feeling this emotional neediness. And then noticing what comes up for you when you detach. That's the healing work. It also reduces reliance on another person for validation, reassurance, or emotional security, and it creates a clear baseline for future relationship choices should this relationship end. This is the work that I do with women inside of the self sourced collective. And when you are inside of there, you get access to weekly mentorship from me in the Telegram app, which I love. And you also get access to my entire Awakening Women program portal that includes the Relationship Clarity Method, my original 30-day process that I'm still taking women through till this day. And it's for you if you are done with spinning in the same cycles. You've already tried all of the things and you are no longer wanting to keep doing the same thing. You're done with explaining, you're tired of talking about it, and you're ready to move differently. Then I invite you to come into the collective. The link will be below this video description, along with other links where you can connect with me. And for more like this, that are more videos like this that are coming, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And subscribe to my podcast. I have two right now going, the Awakening Women Show and the Self-Sourced Woman Show on Spotify. Links are below this video, and I welcome you to follow me along there. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode and talk to you soon.